past few years, I've taken the phrase, "you are what you eat," to heart. My wife and I do our best to prioritize nutritious meals for our family to encourage optimal health and energy for the busy days that we have with all 4 of our kids. This means that omega-3 fatty acids have become a crucial component of our diet, especially considering how easy it is to overconsume those omega-6 fatty acids. Now, our body needs omega-6 fatty acids as well, but it's important to have the right balance of the two. Fatty acids are basically the building blocks of all fats, and omega-3s are just one of at least 20 types within the human diet. The body needs all kinds of fatty acids to function properly, and thankfully, many of them can be made in the liver using raw materials from your diet. But 2 polyunsaturated fats, omega-3 ALA and omega-6 LA, are considered essential fatty acids. This means that the body can't make them on its own, and you have to get enough of each through the food that you eat or supplements. Okay, so there are 3 distinct forms of omega-3 fatty acids: ALA, EPA, and DHA. The American diet is typically lacking in the omega-3 fatty acids and overly abundant in omega-6 fatty acids. Now, let me tell you why this ratio is so important. Omega-3s and omega-6s are both precursors that are converted into different kinds of prostaglandins for your body to use. They both use the same pathways for metabolism and need the same limited enzymes for conversion. You see, because both types of fatty acids are competing for the same enzyme, the fatty acid more prominent in your diet will achieve more conversion, which has a direct impact on the level of inflammation in your body. Abundantly more omega-6 fatty acid conversions can promote chronic low-grade inflammation, which is a hallmark of metabolic syndrome. Conversions of omega-3s are able to decrease inflammation, protect against insulin resistance, and prevent plaque buildup in the arteries. These traits make omega-3s vital for cardiovascular health, and they're even valued for their neurological benefit. In fact, studies have found that EPA omega-3s help prevent inflammation in the brain, which has been found to help keep depression at bay and maintain the health of neurons and their communication pathways. All right, so now that you understand a little bit more about the ratio of these fatty acids, you might want to know what ratio you should be pursuing and how to achieve it. Well, I think it'd be helpful for you to know that currently, the standard Western diet has an omega-6 to omega-3 ratio of roughly 16:1. To put that into perspective, humans evolved on a diet in which the ratio of omega-6 to omega-3 was 1:1. And while estimates for the ideal ratio vary, a lower ratio, closer to what humans are genetically equipped to live with, is generally considered more metabolically healthy. So how can you achieve a lower ratio for the benefit of your metabolic health? Well, one way is to avoid processed food and swap refined vegetable oils for oils rich in omega-3s like olive oil.
Shalom. Let's give all praise and fear and glory and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai. Shalom to you, brothers and sisters. Shalom, elect warriors. And Lord willing, this is edifying for our growth. This is 1 Samuel chapter 2. And it starts basically with Hannah, which she couldn't be able to give birth, and she prayed, and the Lord gave her a son, which she named Samuel, which means having because you asked the Lord. She had Samuel because she asked the Lord, and she made an agreement with the Lord that when once he had age to receive knowledge and wisdom, that she would give him to the Lord, and the way you give your son to the Lord is you teach him the ways and raise up a warrior, basically. And that's what we are. We are warriors, and we are lent to the Lord. Just like Samuel was, he was born here for a reason. He was put here on earth for a reason. So this is 1 Samuel chapter 2, verse 1. And Hannah prayed and said, "My heart rejoiceth in the Lord. My horn is exalted in the Lord. My mouth is enlarged over mine enemies, because I rejoice in thy salvation. There is none holy as the Lord, for there is none beside thee, neither is there any rock like our power, Mashiach. Talk no more so exceeding proudly, let not arrogancy come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a power of knowledge, and by him actions are weighed. Right, the actions are what the Lord is weighing. He's not weighing the words. The words don't really have power over your actions. The actions are what your real intentions are. This is verse 4. It says, the bows of the mighty men are broken, and they that stumbled are girded with strength. They that were full have hired out themselves for bread, and they that were hungry ceased, so that the barren hath borne 7, and she that hath many children is waxed feeble. The Lord killeth and maketh alive. He bringeth down and bringeth down to the grave and bringeth up. The Lord maketh poor and maketh rich. He bringeth low and lifteth up. He raiseth up the poor out of the dust, and lifteth up the beggar from the dunghill, to set them among princes, and to make them inherit the throne of glory. For the pillars of the earth are the Lord's. Right, the pillars of the earth are the Lord's, and we are those pillars, man. The Lord is using us as pillars of the kingdom. You know, we're the pillars of the kingdom, which is stronger than the pillars of the earth. But see, this earth belongs to us. So the Lord is removing the current pillars of this wicked kingdom and putting the pillars of the kingdom of heaven, which is us, his elect. For the pillars of earth are the Lord's, and he hath set the world upon them heavy. He will keep the feet of his saints. See that? There's no coincidence that the next verse is going to the saints, because his elect is his saints. The pillars of the kingdom of heaven are the saints, and we're going to be overtaking, and we're already taking this earth. This is our belonging since the beginning. Verse 9, he will keep the feet of his saints, and the wicked shall be silent in darkness. For by strength shall no man prevail. Beautiful. The adversaries of the Lord shall be broken to pieces. Out of heaven shall he thunder upon them. The Lord shall judge the ends of the earth, and he shall give strength unto his king, and exalt the horn of his anointed. Again, that word horn, it's talking about power, crown. The Lord is giving us strength and power and growth. He's exalting us. The Lord, he already anointed us, right? So now, by us doing our responsibility after the anointment, the reward arrives, in the hands of the Lord. He receives us. Verse 11, and Elkanah went to Ramah to his house, and the child did minister unto the Lord before Eli the priest. Now the sons of Eli were sons of Belial. They knew not the Lord. Right, it's heavy. Right, because see, the Lord expects you to rebuke your own family, your own sons. And that's why that's what Eli didn't do, and he was judged and punished. But let's continue reading here, verse 13. And the priest's custom with the people was that when Slovakia. And when in the priest's custom with the people was that when any man offered sacrifice, the priest's servant came while the flesh was in seething, with a flesh hook of 3 teeth in his hand, and he struck it into the pan or kettle or cauldron or pot. All that the flesh hook brought up, the priest took for himself. So they did in Shiloh unto all the Israelites that came thither. Also, before they burnt the fat, the priest's servant came and said to the man that sacrificed, Give flesh to roast for the priest, for he will not have sudden flesh of thee, but raw. And if any man said unto him, Let them not fail to burn the fat presently, and then take as much as thy soul desireth, then he would answer him, Nay, but thou shalt give it me now, and if not, I will take it by force. We're not here to negotiate or make partnership. The Lord gives us instructions to do certain things, and we're going to do it exactly the same way the Lord told us to. And that's what I'm looking at here, in the spiritual way, because the Lord teaches us in very unique ways. The Lord does not teach his message and his secrets and his mysteries in a way to make everybody know. And no, the Lord is very private. The Lord does not sup with anybody. The Lord is only supping and opening, the mysteries onto his chosen men, his elect, his true believers, true followers. Verse 17 says, Wherefore the sin of the young man was very great before the Lord, for men abhorred the offering of the Lord. But Samuel ministered before the Lord, being a child, girded with a linen ephod. It's heavy, right? It says, Wherefore the sin of the young men was very great before the Lord, right? Because this generation is dead. The young generation, the children, majority of the world, they don't follow the Lord because they don't have parents that show them. So the children that are following the Lord, reading the scriptures, they're special. They're special. They've been anointed because the Lord showed them. Because the parents are not, this place is not promoting Yahushai at all. So if you are following the Lord, and whether you're young or old, you've been anointed, because you have true intentions for feeding the flock and feeding the sheep and showing the Lord that you love him, that you value what he did for you. It's your actions that's going to be weighed. Verse 19 says, Moreover, his mother made him a little coat and brought it to him from year to year when she came up with her husband to offer the yearly sacrifice. Right? Because again, Samuel was born to serve the Lord. That was agreed upon with his mom, Hannah. That's the only way and the only reason why Samuel was born, because his mom was not able to give birth. There's a miracle that Samuel was born. That's marvelous. That's marvel. The fact that Samuel was born here is heavy. And it's a miracle and it's a marvel thing that we are born also, and with that we're learning of Yahushai. No matter what happens in the world, what the fuck they're talking about in the news, and the deceiving topics, none of that things are stumbling to us, because we are born to serve the Lord. That's the whole purpose, that why we're here. Verse 20, and Eli blessed Elkanah his wife, and said, the Lord give thee seed for this woman, for the loan which is lent to the Lord. Let me read it again. 1 Samuel chapter 2 verse 20. And Eli blessed Elkanah and his wife, and said, the Lord give thee seed of this woman for the loan which is lent to the Lord. And they went unto their own home. And the Lord visited Hannah, so that he conceived and bare 3 sons and 2 daughters. And the child Samuel grew before the Lord. Now Eli was very old, and heard all that his sons did unto all Israel, and how they lay with the women that assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he said unto them, why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. And he said unto them, why do ye such things? For I hear of your evil dealings by all this people. Nay, my sons, for it is no good report that I hear. Ye make the Lord's people to transgress. If one man sin against another, the judge shall judge him. But if a man sin against the Lord, who shall entreat for him? Notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. It says, notwithstanding, they hearkened not unto the voice of their father, because the Lord would slay them. It's heavy, man. And, there are, rebellious children. Let me get that. Our people are rebellious. They just want their own lusts to be fulfilled. They're not looking for salvation. They're not looking for salvation. They're looking for lust, fulfilling their lusts. So they're rebellious. This is 1 Samuel 15:23. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft. Rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and adultery. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. Here you go. The Lord does not take rebelliousness lightly. If you're rebellious, then you're a witch. You're committing witchcraft. You're stubborn. You're committing adultery. It's evil. It's wicked. They're doing the works of their father, the devil. Because if they were sons of God, they would know God and know what works he did and follow follow that type of work. Proverbs 17:11. An evil man seeketh only rebellion. Therefore a cruel messenger shall be sent against him. See, the Lord has cruel messengers too, man. You see, the Lord sends peace messengers unto us and fighting and encouraging us and edifying us, right? But to our enemies and 2/3 of our people, the Lord is sending cruel messengers You see, because the Lord is giving them a cruel judgment, terrible judgment. Deuteronomy 28 verse 47, because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart, for the abundance of all things. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies with the Lord. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, the enemies which the Lord shall send against thee. That's beautiful. Deuteronomy 28, verse 47. Right, it says, because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness. So you got to have joyfulness in when you're doing this, when you're reading, when you're teaching, edifying the sheep, when you're praying. You got to feel some sort of joy in your heart that makes you feel whole. If you don't have that, then that means you're doing it for something else. I don't know, for views, subscribers, money. They're doing it for many different reasons, but one thing I know is that they're not doing it for the Lord, because they're not joyful, that they're in a sad state, they're in low vibration, complaining, Verse 48, therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies which the Lord shall send against thee, in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon the neck until he have destroyed thee. Guys want a lot of money and riches and fame and subscribers because the Lord is allowing it. The Lord gave their spirit unto nakedness, right? A spirit that wants all things. It says it right there. Right? They're always hungry. They're not full. They're never filled because they're not drinking the pure water of Yahushua that makes you not thirst again. So, just like in the opening clip, your health is main key. We don't belong to ourselves, so we have to make sure that we're healthy because we are a purchased possession. And that video I posted in the beginning, right, goes into how you need to eat fatty acids. You need to eat omega-3 and level it out with omega-6, and not eat too much omega-6, but eat more omega-3s. And omega-3s, one of the fatty acids it has is alpha. It's alpha. It's called alpha. That's one of the fatty acids, and I love that because I was basically seeing, how the Lord uses these words and, and definitions to really hit things in there, because the Lord said He's the Alpha and Omega. And the fact that we're eating these two things, not just in a fish or in, food, but we're also eating it when we're reading the scriptures and edifying one another, and we're sharpening one another. The spirit is receiving nutrients as well. The spirit is receiving vitamins and nutrition and protein also. So it's growing. Although we can't see it, we feel it and we have faith. And we see it play out in life. We see how our life becomes better because of that. And we're seeing so much signs too. Like, the world is witnessing the strangeness of our salvation right now. They're witnessing, things they've never seen, things that they never believed, things that they mocked at, things that they laughed at, they're seeing it with their eyes and they're being terrified. They're terrified. It's cruel judgment. And, so, and it's only going to get worse for our enemies in and out of Israel, in and out of our people. 2/3 of our people are going to receive judgment first. So it's, and the skies is telling us so much signs. And we see messengers, basically wrapping this up. The Lord has all his warriors and messengers doing marvelous work. The Lord said that we are going to be doing marvelous work, greater things, greater works, because of the time we're in. The Lord is wrapping things up and moving time very fast and giving us power that our forefathers never had. So we have to use it for the best of our ability, and not let nothing stop you. Right now I'm tired, I'm sleepy, but I'm fighting through it. I'm fighting through it because I know that this is the most valuable thing that I could possibly do in my life, is serve the Lord and feed the sheep, prove with my actions that I love the Lord. And with that, let's give all praise, fear, and glory and honors to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahushai, Ba'ashim, Rakakudash, Shalom. You brothers and sisters, I bow my ball in judgment to you wicked, cruel thirds of our people. And the world is ours. We have the victory. So the Lord is cleaning the world. So rejoice, brothers and sisters, and stay growing in Yahushai. Read the scriptures. Read Samuel. Read the Old Testament, the New Testament. Read the Apocrypha. Get deep in the scriptures. Pray, fast. This is where we have to do it all. Is now or never. This is the time. When you're in the last inning, when you're in the last round, you have to give your all to secure that victory, because you got the victory, but now you have to just go an extra mile so no one can pass you. Shalom.